Hi there, it's Make It Monday, and it's Cindy Fodor with Stamp the Love. And I'm sorry, I'm 5 minutes late because I was having technical issues and other things going on, and I just lost my mat for my computer. There we go. So I hope you're having a good Monday. We've lost our spring weather, unfortunately, and it's been cold. And I saw on Facebook that some of you guys close to here had snow. So that's a little bit terrifying. But yeah, our plants are not enjoying that. I'm trying to get into my Facebook. I don't know. They did something new with Facebook and it's so confusing. So give me a second. I'm just trying to get, I am not trying to watch videos. No, I do not want to watch videos. Oh my goodness. They just have changed things a little bit. It probably will make it easier once I know what I'm doing, but give me a sec till I learn this. Okay, there we go. It is up. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Barbara. Yes, everything's going fine. And then, of course, at 8 o'clock exactly, my husband called, and he's had to make a run to the apartment that we own because of vandalism there. So I had to take that call, and I'm like, okay, it's 8 o'clock, honey. I gotta go. But anyways, hopefully all is well there. All right. So, hi, Karen. I'm happy that you guys could join me tonight. Pop on and say hello. Don't forget to share this with your friends so that I'm going to be showing an oldie but goodie tonight. Basically, Stamp and Resist with embossing. And so I'm copying from a gal that, well, Barbara, you know that I love to copy, Gail Ellis. I think she's from Australia. She is just an incredible stamper. And I was looking at some of her things today, and I was like, you know, sometimes, and I talked to a lot of gals recently who are like, I need a ton of cards, and I'm running out, and I need something like quick and easy. So while this is going to be a wow, it's pretty quick and pretty easy. So I hope that will be helpful. Hi, Kay. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Sylvia. Good to see you. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things before I get started. I did do a drawing for those of you that posted and shared last month. And the winner of the polished dots is Louise Gibbs. So Louise, you will be getting this packet. I think I have your address. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, oh, we have a countdown drawing to do. Let me just lay those aside for a second, and we'll pull this up. Look at this, guys. We have emptied the top 2 rows. Woohoo! I'm so excited. I might move these up just so it's easier to get to. But let me open this one. We are under 19,000. And the winner of this prize gets black rhinestones. So I will post in the comments. I will see who has placed an order in the last month of April. And they will all go in the drawing for the free black rhinestones. These were some of my favorite. They're retired now and unavailable, but they're some of my favorite rhinestones. You know, I do love black, and you'll see tonight I'm doing some things with black as well, but actually it's not rhinestones. Okay, now let me just put Louise's name on that so I don't forget whose that is. I didn't think about what next week's prize is going to be, but I think it's going to be the card that I do tonight. So when you share, thanks Karen for sharing, appreciate it. Thanks Kay. You get a ticket for sharing, and you get a ticket for commenting. So and do let me know when you share, because I can't always see it. If they're not friends of mine, I don't get to see who you shared with. So you'll get the card. Somebody will get the card that I make tonight. Okay. Something else I wanted to tell you about. Now I lost my train of thought. That's not unusual. Yeah, way to go. Okay, so I do want to talk about Waves of the Ocean because you know that, well, some of you know that we are able to purchase this as a pre catalog item. They brought it out a little bit early, so we had something fun to offer in April, March and April, and so there are a few items on this that are not available anymore. I'm going to switch over to this screen. Well, maybe if I can get it, so that I can show you this and still talk to you at the same time. So, so this is just some samples, and this shows you the bundle, but like I said, a couple of items are not available. So the stamp set and the dies are available, and they will go in the new catalog. The designer paper is still available. So I just want to show you, I don't know if I ever really showed you all of that. So I pulled out the pieces. I think I might be missing one piece, but here's one sheet and here's the other side of that. Here's a second sheet. Look at those gorgeous waves on there. And then here's the other side of that one. There's another sheet. And I think this has some other colors to it. You can see some of the blushing, either pretty, yeah, pale pink or something in there. You think I don't know my colors anymore. And then there's the other side of that. So let me come down here. And here's one. And there's the other side of that one. And then here's one. And this is the other side of this one. Like I said, I'm missing one piece, and I'm not sure which one it is. It's one that I probably used a lot of. And so I think that it's this one here. You can see the pretty blues and greens in the background. I'm in love with this one and this one, but this is the other paper that's missing. So these are some of the cards that I did. I'm just going to flip through them. What I'm going to offer for you is if you place an order the rest of this month, and you will have a host code on the next screen. For the rest of this month, if you place an order of any size, I will give you a tutorial with 4 of these projects. This one is one I did this frame myself. I will include that and explain how to do that frame. I did video on some of these for you before. I don't think I did that one on video. I just did this one with our stitch rectangles. And then, of course, I did some of these with my team last month. So, so they got to see these. Okay, so this paper is available. I can quickly just give you the host code so you can, or not the host code, the order number for the bundle is 158841, and it's $51.25, and the designer paper is 159982, and it's $11.50. The key is, if you don't get this right now, that's fine, but this paper, as soon as it's gone, it will be gone. So this is just while supplies last. I checked today, it's still available. I can't promise you how long it will be available. Okay, so you might want to get that ASAP. Okay, done with that, and done with that. There's the stamp set up close and personal with the gorgeous pelican. Okay, all right, let's see. Is there anything else? Any questions you guys have? Hey, Julie, welcome. I'm going to show you the cards I had on screen if you popped on at the beginning. And I'm going to go ahead and flip to this screen so that you can see the host code for ordering. If you use this host code with any order this month, you will get a tutorial with the Waves of Inspiration stamp set. And then I wanted to show you these 3 cards. And I'm going to demonstrate this one. Excuse me, but I wanted to show you that I took the same basic design and so that you can see that you can use something that you have. Okay, so I did this one with Very Versailles, which is going bye-byes very soon, and I'm really sad. You know, this is one of my favorite sets because I love the scripty words here to create a background, and I see I see that my dots are still not dry. I smeared that. Oh, I'm so bummed. Hopefully I can erase that. And I wanted to show you what I did here. The saying in here is always thinking of you, and it's long, and I needed it to be short. So what I did was I just took a Post-it note and I just placed it right here over the always. I inked my stamp, took the Post-it note off, and then stamped just the thinking of you. So that's something you can do. You know, I've cut them before. I often cut the photopolymer if I want to create different words with it. For this one, I used our new set, and I think I have it here somewhere. I used our new Nature's Prints. So it's one coming out in the new catalog that as demonstrators we were able to pre-order, and I used the stamp here, and I combined it with my I know some of you don't like these, but I love these. I combined it with the little toadstools from this iconic die set that's going to be going away very soon, and I'm sad because I'm going to be using this leaf for my card that I'm making. All right. I also wanted to point out here that I took the black pieces out of the toadstool and I just glued them in place to create my, it looks like matte black dots, but it's just the paper from the center of the toadstool. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kay. All right. So are you guys ready to see how I did this? I know some of you probably can figure that out. I'm going to have to use a little magic of television just because you have to have dry ink for some of this to work. So I'm going to start out with a blank piece. Let me grab that. And we're going to stamp the black leaf from Forever Fern. We're using this leaf right here. Okay. And I'm not using any of the dies in this, and however, I could have used that to go with this, but I love this long skinny leaf from the iconic dies, and it fit perfectly with my theme there. Oh, and the other thing I want to point out, because I'm going to forget this, is the textile embossing folder. And I have mentioned this before, this is going away. If you do not have a textile folder that gives you a neutral embossed look, you want to get this one now. It will be gone very soon, but it creates this look. And I actually did, when I embossed this, I placed a single piece of cardstock on top of this before I put my gray plate on, or my purple plate, whichever one you have, because it gave it a little bit more pressure and gave this a little more depth. So if you're not getting the indentation or the raising that you want, go ahead and put a piece of just flat cardstock, a scrap piece, on top of here before you put your top plate on, and that will give you a little more detail in your embossing folder. Okay? I just knew if I didn't tell you that, I would forget it. Okay, now I did just re-ink my memento pad, and I'm also using the ink refill in the lid because that's how I did the spattered dots that made a mess on my card over there. So hopefully it's not too inky. Now this is a firm pad, so I'm pouncing on this one. You won't see me do that with our regular pads. And I'm going to keep this one pretty close to the top up here and over to the left side. And then I'm going to ink it again. I'm going to try to connect this with my last, with my stem there, because I want it to extend down, but I want it to feel like it's part of it. So I'm going to hopefully get that on there. And I can always connect it with a pen, a black marker a little bit more if I need to. And then this one, I'm just going to bring back up here to the top and stamp. Okay. Now this is where the magic of television has to come in, because this has to be completely dry, and I don't want to take the time to do that because I do need to do embossing, and that's going to take some heating. So I'm going to just put this aside, and I'm going to pull one out that I already have stamped. So I'm going to put that one over, and I can do that later. This one has been sitting for a little while. I did not heat set it. I just left it dry on its own. And now I'm going to wash my stamp because I'm going into my photopolymer. So I'm using this pad because I've got to get, it has lots and lots of little creases in there, and I sprayed it with Stampin' Scrub. However, I think I need a little bit more. There, now I got some soapy action going on. And then I'm going to clean it on the other side. Looking good. Okay. All right, now I'm going to be using my embossing buddy, which if you need one, let me know. We do not carry these anymore, but I can get you a link where you can get one of those. It covers your fingerprints, any greasy marks, any static that you might have on your hands that you might have transferred to your paper. Okay, then we're going to stamp with the Versamark pad. Ink that up good. You see how pretty and white this is. This is my only one that looks like that, so I certainly didn't want to get any of that black ink in it. All right, so I'm just going to move this over to the right a little bit for each one. So I'm moving it like 1/4 of an inch just to get a sort of a reflected look. I'm going to do all 3 of them the same way. Have to get the right angle on each one. And then one more. Thank you guys. I'm glad you like them. And I told you at the beginning that these are quick cards. They take a couple of steps, but here's the thing. If I stamped all of these in black and left them sit until I got to the end, I could probably come back and start making, doing the embossed part. I'm going to bring this over, making sure that my paper here is nice and clean so that I can put that all back in. I'm just going to flick that off. Okay, I put this back in my container. Okay, and let's heat set that and emboss that. That wasn't good. That was my hard drive. I don't know where it went. Get this heated up a little bit. Okay, for this one you want to make sure that you've gotten everything embossed. All right, I'm going to bring in a crumb cake pad, and I might have to grab that here. Oops. Oh, that's a hair sand. Okay, I'll use this one. This is an old one, oldie but a goodie. I'm going to use our blending brushes to do this. And I'm going to just start adding color, brushing it in. And if I did this, first of all, if I didn't let this black dry and I embossed the white on there, or once I put that powder on, the powder would have stuck to the black and I would have had white where the black is supposed to be. And then when we get to this point, it would move the black around as well. So two good reasons to make sure that you're completely dry. We're going to be laying down a ton of color here because to get Emboss Resist to work good, you need a lot of color behind it or over it to make it pop out. You see how that white is now starting to show. I'm going to zoom this in just a tad so that you can see that better. Excuse me. Now my pad's a little dry, so when you go to do this, just be careful with your first bit down. You know, don't go straight down in an area that you might not want to be terribly dark, because this pad hasn't been re-inked in a while. So I'm like doing every bit of what I get off of there. Now I really want to darken it up here at the top. I'm just going to keep adding till I get enough there. Okay, and I don't want this white to be so white, so I'm just going to come in here and bring a little bit of shading from the bottom as well. And I'm leaving space to put my saying. Oh, I got a hold of something there. That was not good. Let me just see if I can, I don't know if I want to erase that, because that's going to, I guess as long as I don't sponge over it, it'll be okay. It must have been a piece of foam or something, fuzz, that got ink on it. I don't know about you, but sometimes I transfer stuff onto my pad and then I'm upset because it makes a mess. All right, I'm not going to go back over that area because that adhesive or that sand eraser may have made that rough, so it would pick up more ink instead of less. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I did fail to bring a tissue in here. Let me see if I have anything. What to use when you don't have a tissue? Your shirt? I don't want to use my shirt, really. It's not cottony. But I might just do that. What I want to do is just pick up the ink that landed on top of the embossing. You see, I can wash that out. It's washable. And I use the underside of it. Okay. Do you see how much brighter that got when I wiped that off? All right, let me get rid of this. We're finished with that. My seat is trying to slide away from me. The next thing that I'm going to do, I didn't get the saying stamped on here, and I don't want it to smear. So I want to show you this this technique, and I think it's pretty cool, except that I think I don't have my aqua painter here. Shoot. What is with me tonight? Okay, guys, I need to go get that because I have to show that to you. Let me just look to make sure. I thought I grabbed everything that was laying there. Okay, talk amongst yourselves, and I'll answer your question, Karen, in just a second. Get my hard drive out of the way. Okay, why do you put another piece of cardstock behind when embossing? Oh, I only did that so that you could see it, Karen. That was just a, because it was white on white, and I just wanted you to be able to see, like, the difference. Sorry if that was confusing. Okay, so I'm going to pick up, I will clean that off of there. I don't leave that color on my lid. And I'm taking our old aqua painter because I don't care if it gets stained up. It will clean up mostly because this is a dye-based ink. So, but I want it to be really sopping wet with ink, but not too much with water. And I'm just going to take my scissors and just do some light tapping. I'm light at first till I realize where it's actually flying to, and then I can be a little more aggressive. Okay, and then I will clean that just by squeezing it and just cleaning it on my scrap paper until it comes out clean. So I will just keep squeezing that till it's clean. And I can do that later. Okay, now this has to sit and dry. So ribbon, yeah, sorry, no good tip there. But good questions, right? Okay. It's very you can see it's a very loose weave, and it makes for a very nice, and it lays fairly flat. It's a little heavier than like our organdies. And then I'm just going to cut this piece, and I just tacked that around. All right, I'm going to scoot this aside. I do not want to smear that for anything. So let's go ahead and put these layers together. So my base is crumb cake, and then of course the design piece, the embossed piece, is crumb cake. A little thing that I found as I was working with this, I mentioned last time that people ask me about this tearing, and that really does happen, especially when you have your paper embossed. And so I did find that it works a little bit better to not press really hard when you're running over embossing, and just do it slowly so that if it would start to tear, you can stop in a minute and go backwards. I don't know if you saw at the beginning there, it started to tear a little bit, and there it did it again. There, it just started to tear. So I'm just going to go backwards and try to lay that back down. It didn't lay down, so I'm going to take that off. I do not want that to wrap back around my this back part here. When that happens, it gets full, it gets messy. So I want to make sure I take any paper off that would tear. And then I'll just move this up until I feel sticky again, because now we took the sticky off. Hopefully I'm not in the screen here, sorry. And okay. All right, I went too far. There we go. So I'm not going to go back over that spot because that spot is definitely going to do it again. So I'm going to start here and come down and doing it again. So at that point, I usually give up. So, but I did it out there with no problems at all on all the other pieces. So I thought surely it would be okay. Yep, it's not doing it today. I don't know if it's different moisture and coldness in this room, or if it just depends on the adhesive. I'm using the same one, but at that point we just go like this and throw a little green glue on those spots. I am going around this whole thing because when a piece of paper is embossed, as you know, it lifts it up and it makes it bumpy, and I hate that. I hate when I lay a piece down and I've only put a couple dots of glue on, which is like what I typically do with Stamp and Seal, because it doesn't need a lot. But in this case, it might have been smarter just to use green glue and go the whole way around. Oh, and I forgot. So I've been introduced to these little white bottles with a point on the end that people have been putting their liquid multi-glue in. And I did just buy some of them so that I can get them to you guys if you need them. And so the next video I'll show you that and show you how they work. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this black piece down. And I think on my sample card I left it straight, but I'm going to go ahead and turn this one to the side just to give it a little more interest. I think it's small enough that I can do that. All right, so we're ready for this. I still don't think those dots, oh, they don't look too bad. I might just throw some heat on them real quick and finish drying them. They're just a little shiny. for the embossing, you emboss it till it's shiny. For the ink, you don't want it to be shiny. There was a little dot right here on the embossing that is just a little bit shiny. Okay, I think I'm fairly safe. I'm still going to be a little cautious, but I'm going to just, sorry for the messy side, guys. I just don't want any of those black dots to get on there. I'm going to go ahead and get my adhesive on here. Now that just tore. I'm not having a good night. Okay. Do what I say, not what I do. I'm going to put, let's see, I want it right here. I want to put some right across here where my ribbon's going to go. And I am just going to tack that down. I cut that plenty long, didn't I? Wow. It's just a tad much. Okay. Now I can go ahead and get my glue on top of there and put a little on top of this one. I always like to double glue my ribbon so that it doesn't pull out for me. Okay, now I'm going to put my saying on now because I didn't want to smear it, and I have that here. And I'm using the saying from Forever Fern, to a friend that makes me smile. Hopefully I don't have it on my hands. All right. Last but not least, we have our bow to put on and our fern. And I'm going to just take my green glue and just put a touch of glue down the center of the frond so that I can glue that right to my ribbon. Another thing that I did was I actually, let me just get a glue dot. Because this ribbon is a long distance there, I want to just tuck a little bit under here where the bow is going to go on so that the bow holds on. Whoops, now my, get that back on where the glue was. I'm not sure if I scooted that ribbon over too far. Okay, now I can stick this on. And because there's a glue dot under there, it's going to hold that a little bit better in place. Okay, that is it, guys. I think I didn't miss any steps on there. I do want to show you the difference. Now I'm holding it up too close, sorry. The difference between this one, when I got my aqua painter out, and I had used it already, and I went to do it again and it was really wet. When I went into the ink, you can see it's more gray. So remember how I said you want it to be more ink than water. So you don't want your brush to be dripping with water. You want it to be mostly ink if you really want that black look and not the gray look. Okay? Depends on what you want. If you want a gray look, then just, make sure this is good and wet, and then pick up some of the black, and that will give you that look. Okay? But I like this look better for myself. And so thank you for watching. I'm glad you like it. Let us know what you're working on, and come back next week. Don't forget to share this. You can still share this with a friend, and let me know that you did so that I can put your name in for the drawing for next week. I say next month, but it's coming. It comes very quickly around to try to get new ideas for you guys. So, all right. It's been great having you. Take care. Good night.